Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osburn. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
Your children, my sister, are your responsibility now. Like, duh, Karen. State the fucking obvious, right? And listen, if you are not a mom, or I've been listening to the podcast, you're not a dad, listen up, because you may be at one point, and this is an important thing for you to know, and a message I think you need to hear today. So, as I just dropped off my oldest son at school, oh, my Tyson Jack, God, I love that kid. Gosh, he's 7, and you know, there's been so many challenges to become his mommy, because we adopted Tyson for 7.5 years. We tried to conceive, went through all the different stuff, and just went, this is clearly not happening. So Tyson, we adopted both of our children, and Tyson was the first one to make me mommy, and all the challenges and the insanity that comes along with being a parent. And then, you know, being an adoptive mom and trying to conceive for years and kind of feeling like, oh, I'm not supposed to do this. Like, there was more so, right, with Tyson being my first child and all of that. And like, gosh, you know, it's like I look through all the things that we went through, and from like literally 1.5 to 4.5, just tantrums. He has taught me so much. He is, you know, yeah. Amazing boy. I look at him and my heart just feels like just so proud. So proud. He's such an incredible kid. And listen, this has not been for, is he a piece of, because that's simply who he is? Of course. You know, we don't make our children a certain way. We lead our children. And not by how we say, but who we are and what we do. And, you know, it's, yeah, incredible. So, I'm all veered off because I'm like talking about my boy, and I'm just like so proud thinking of, especially this morning. So Tyson is dyslexic. We kind of realized there was starting to be a problem with things, and went through an incredible program called the Davis Method, which, by the way, if you have a dyslexic child, doesn't matter how old, if you're an adult and you feel like you're dyslexic, which is not just letters flipping, but the letters move on the page, you get to what's called disoriented, you get dizzy reading, headache. There's a lot of different things. Go and read The Gift of Dyslexia by Ron Davis. And he created something called the Davis Method, which was really to cure his own dyslexia. It was like, I got to figure this out. And it was incredible. We went through a program. The work continues when we go home. There's daily work that we do, and it's just, I won't go way off into that. But one of the things that Tyson was still telling me was, Mommy, it's blurry. Like, things look blurry at times. So what happens with disorientation is that when dyslexics see a word that they don't have a visual image for, and there's a list of about 216 words, right? When a dyslexic sees the word cat, like they read it, they see, in order for them to understand the word, they see a picture of it. But there's no picture for the, and, but, or, before, like all these things, all these different words. And so we're going through a process to really help to understand this. So when a dyslexic comes across a word that doesn't have a visual picture for it, it can be that the word is, again, the letters can be flipped. It can just be that it's blank. Like they literally, their brain doesn't perceive word. It sees blank, like it looks blank. They don't even see the word there. It's wild, right? It can be that. It can be also too that they get disoriented, and that can mean that it's blurry. Okay, it's blurry. They can get a headache. They can feel dizzy. So when Tyson was telling me, Mommy, the words are blurry, I'm thinking, oh, it's the dyslexia. And so we talk about the tools that he can use to really help when he gets into that state of disorientation. But then it's continuing. And I've been thinking, I'm like, you know what? I should really get his eyes checked. Like, maybe that's it. Maybe that's not a piece of it. I mean, I know that's not the whole thing, but like, let me just, so we get his eyes checked. And optometrist is amazing, so good with him. Tyson was awesome. The appointment, he's like, okay, buddy, I'm going to speak to your mom a little bit. Do you want to just go outside? And it's like a little play area. And he's like, cool. And he closes the door. I'm thinking like, oh my God, like what's wrong? Like, I don't even go there as a mom, but I'm like, what the fuck? Did you find like a tumor in his eye? Like, why are you suddenly? He's like, Tyson needs glasses. I'm like, oh, cool. He goes, he needs them to read. I'm like, what? Reading? I go, I got glasses when I was about 13. And, because I wasn't able to read the board. Things were kind of blurry, and that's often how that gets picked up with kids, right? And he's like, no, for reading. I'm like, wow, that's so weird. He's like, no, it's actually quite common. And he goes, do you want me to, how do you want to do this? Do you want me to break the news to him? Do you want me to, I'm like, oh, no, dude, you don't understand. Like, he's going to be super pumped. Like, we came here and he's like looking at the frames, right? Because it's also an optometrist's office, but it's an optical store, right? So he's on front trying all the different frames. And I'm like, oh, no, he's going to love it, right? So I come out like, buddy, guess what? You need glasses to read. He's like, yeah. So he picks us. So they just came in and we got them fitted yesterday. And this is his first day now at school. Walking in with his glasses, right? He's so proud. Like, he's just so, everybody sees, like some of the teachers and the lunch lady's like, hi, Sue. And sees his friend, hey, Katie, see my new glasses? Right? We go and we see his teacher from last year, Mrs. Hunt. And she's like, oh, Tyson. He does. Like, he's so freaking cute with him, right? And maybe I'll actually put a picture of him with his glasses on for the podcast art for this particular episode. But here's what made me think of, and, his reading teacher came up to him and said, Tyson, I'm so excited for reading today. My heart swells when I see how amazing that the people that support my child in learning are at his school. And it wasn't always this way. And I fought a lot of the time with things. I stood up for my child. I will still do that. If I feel that something is not okay. And I don't go, well, the teachers know, right? When they're like problems with reading and he's acting out in school, I'm like, you don't understand. It's not you think it's the behavior that's the challenge with Tyson, because like grade 1 last year, oh my God, lots of stuff. This year, up until when we did the program in December, similar. He's hitting, he's acting out, he won't stay still. And they're like, we're just trying to teach Tyson how to just listen and stuff. I go, here's the deal. I know it's this dyslexia. I know that's causing the behavior. Like, let's get to the cause. And lo and behold, guess what's changed dramatically, right? Because number one, you as a parent have an intuition of knowing what is right for your child. You trust that and you know that. The voice. You know what you know. You know what you know. It is up to us as parents. Now, I could have easily said, because like, well, we can get, extra help. We can get an aide come in if you get him diagnosed, all this stuff. I'm like, I don't need to get my kid diagnosed. He's gone through we went through the initial consultation with this one place that does the Davis method, and we flew to Calgary, Alberta to actually do it. And they're like, listen, you can go get official diagnosis, but like, he's dyslexic. Like, there's no need for that, right? And so they were going from they just wanted to help, but like, let's get him diagnosed. We'll get a special helper for him. And I'm like, how about I help him to help himself? Like, dyslexia is not a bad thing. It's in the book, it's called The Gift of Dyslexia for a reason. Dyslexics, and about 20% of the population are dyslexic, whether they know it or not, have the most vivid imaginations. They're like the creators and the visionaries of the world. And you don't want to dull that part. Like, that's an amazing piece of their brain that does that. You just want to give them the tools so they can help to manage that, right? They can, if you know that dyslexics have a real hard time with time, like concept of time, like escapes them. I know you might go with, look, my kid's like that too, but no, with dyslexics, it's a different level of it, right? It's hard for the sitting still stuff and that. It's like, let's really listen to how their body, how their brain works best, and like fan those flames, right, of that. And so when they were coming out and saying this and the behavior and, he did this at school and he hit a kid and all this stuff, like I just knew. I knew this was what was going on. I knew it. And I wouldn't say that they were support. I remember talking to his teacher and I'm like, hey, I'm going to do this. And she's like, okay, like she's interested, but you can kind of tell there's a little bit of hesitation of like, I don't really think that's it. And, there was some mama bearness in that, right? Where I was just like, there's a piece of like, well, you know what? Like, thank you, but fuck you, I'll show you. Like, I know what I know. But yet knowing that the school that he was in and how much they were really trying, and it's a nice small school. There's like, elementary school. It's like 250, 275 kids. Like, everybody knows everybody, just great. Even though we moved out of the area and we can no longer walk to school, I was like, I want to have, like, Tyson want to stay at Brayfoot, his school. Kai will be going to kindergarten in the fall, and he's so pumped. And it makes me feel so good as a parent walking out of the school and going, my child is cared for and loved. And listen, I know if you're listening and you live in the United States, there's some crazy shit happening with your schools. I'm not going to go on the whole issue of it. There's lots of different pieces of it, but just know that stuff does not happen in Canada. I don't have to deal with some of the challenges that all of you are having when it comes to, like, I'm dropping off my child now. Are they going to be, like, are they going to be okay? Is their life going to be okay? It's not like, is there a bully? Are they struggling in school? It's like, there's some bigger issues that need to be really addressed and talked about. And the way it's going on right now, it's like, putting more guns in, like, no. We need to address the cause. Why is this happening, right? But outside of that, whether it is school, whether it's a babysitter, we had a new babysitter over last night. Oh, she's amazing. Your friends that maybe help with the kids, just people that are around your children. It is up to you. We're here to raise our children, to guide them, to lead them. And you better fucking believe that the children that they're part of me, the adults, the others that get to, and the kids that get to be around my son matter. They impact. I'll give you another quick example. So we were at swimming lessons yesterday. Kai's in like a group swimming lesson. Tyson we have in private lessons, only because in one-on-one, because he was having a challenge in groups. He's all over the place. Well, guess what? He's in private one-on-one, again, listening to what he really needs. And he's like a fish now, and he literally could not swim. Like he wasn't picking it up. He's distracted. And so we listened and just said, what's really best for our son? It's not really a lot more money to put in private lessons. I want him to learn how to swim. He loves it, loves it. Kai loves to swim too, loves the water. Last 2 classes, he wants to leave, and they're only half-hour classes. He walks out. I'm kind of by the edge of the pool, and he's like, Mommy, I'm in a timeout, and I just want to go. And I'm like, okay, it happened the first time, and I'm like, maybe he's confused, when they take them out of the pool and they're showing the kids kind of sit on the edge of the pool and they're showing them different things, and he's just 4. And then it happened again yesterday, and he wants to now. I go, well, let's get back in class. He's like, no, I don't want to. I want to leave. And I'm like, wait a second. This is a kid that loved the water, loved the pool, could not wait for his next week's swimming lesson, and now he doesn't want to be in it. I need to listen. So I go and I talk to the teacher, who's, young girl. I mean, she might even be high school, maybe university, college, but young girl. And she's very defensive, and she's like, well, Kai was splashing. I'm like, okay, well, he's 4. Kids, if you can't handle this kind of shit, I just said, look, timeouts don't work. You need to know that. Timeouts don't work. They certainly don't work for my 2 boys. She's like, well, what else would you suggest? I'm thinking, if you have a challenge because he's splashing, this is not working. And I said, I got her name, and I just said, look, and I go, I don't think this is working. And she got even more defensive, and it's fine, right? It's I don't really care. I don't really have feelings about that or not. I just know that now I need to listen to this because there's a situation. Now, you might go, it's no big deal. He's splashing kids. That's not okay. If it was my kids being we could go to that whole place, right? And we could go into crazy town about it. But the bottom line is my son that loves to swim is now not wanting to go because of an experience that he's had 2 times now with this teacher. So it is up to me. I don't want my son around. I don't care who it is that feels oh my God, children got to follow all the time. And it's dude, he's 4. It's the end of the day. You're obviously not a parent. You don't really understand how this works. And I'm not going to have you teaching my child, and you already have a way that you're seeing him. I can see when you talk about him that you think he's the troublemaker. And I'm watching Kai. It's he's farting around a little bit, but it's freaking mild. All the kids kind of doing that a bit. What's the deal, right? So I'm not going to have him no swim lessons. I don't care if I was to lose money. I don't care if I had to go to another pool. And I know that won't be the case, and I will just transfer it over. And again, it wouldn't matter to me because the way I raise my child and who I have my children around matters. It is up to me. It's my responsibility. I own how I parent. And it's a privilege for you to be around my children, just like it's a privilege for anybody in your life to be around your children, and it matters. Just like it's a privilege for anyone to be around you in your life, it matters. The people that are around you matter, and that's with your kids. We cannot go to the place of just well, the schools know and the teachers know and it's their responsibility. No, it's fucking not. It's ours. It's ours. So here's your more tip for today. Now, if you're not a parent, this will be a discussion. And it's very easy to think of how you're going to parent when you have children. Believe me, shit changes when it gets real and the kids are actually around. I remember saying, my husband and I were like, listen, we know the stats on what screen time does to children's brains, so there's no way they're getting TV until the age of like 3, let alone an iPad or something like that, right? Year and a half in, we're like, oh my God, can you please turn on fucking Sesame Street? Because I'm going to lose my mind if I just don't have like 15 minutes to myself right now, right? And you become flexible and you give a little bit more. And you understand that parenting isn't absolutes and you gotta roll with the punches, right? But your more tip for today is I want you to take a look at the people that are around your children. Teachers, family members, babysitters, neighbors, like, are the people that are around your children's life, are you okay with them? Do you look at them and go like, oh man, they're incredible? Because, yeah, it does take a village. It really fucking does. I don't care if you're a stay-at-home mom, you homeschool your kids. Like, you cannot do this by yourself, nor should you. Your kids should be around other people. This is part of life. This is part of learning how to interact with other people and how to, resolve conflict. And, like, this, you have to be around other people. It's not just you got to do everything yourself. So if it takes a village, that means you got to be careful of who the villagers are that you allow into your children's life. So take a look at them. And I want you to make a list of the people that, it's just like, man, they're so incredible. And then you're going to make a list of the people where you're like, oh God, no, this person, these people, like, right? And then there's going to be kind of where there's like an in the middle group and you're not quite sure. And I'm going to let you sit on that, reflect on that, and you decide what you want to do with that situation, right? It could be like me with something like with Kai in the pool. And I just go, you know what? This is like really not working. So I'm going to call the pool director because we have to set up new lesson times. Private lessons are done a little bit differently and do them over the phone. And my swim coach, I have private lessons. She's got a job, like she's moved on kind of thing. And so I have to get someone new to go like, I'm going to call anyway. So I'm going to say as of next week, like we're going to do private lessons with Kai. That's it. That's it. You need to stand up for your children. They need to know that you have their back. And it's not about helicopter parenting. It's about being there for your kids. Be there for your kids. And the people that are around them fucking matter. So listen, sister, one thing I'm going to have you do at the end of this episode, subscribe to the Woman Wanting More newsletter. You need to subscribe. You are missing out, man. There's all sorts of exciting things that I am announcing and launching and special discounts, special things that you get being part of the Woman Wanting More tribe. And you're going to miss it all there. Plus, I mail out to you now. I did do daily. It's now 3 or 4 times a week of blogs that I'm actually now writing. Every Friday is now the Friday recap. So it's all the show notes in one email. Because so many of you were telling me, like, I love the emails, Karen, but like, I can't keep up with daily. Sometimes twice a day when you get really pumped, right? Like, I love it, but I can't keep up. Like, cool. I hear you. I'm listening. So we've adapted that. So head over right now to drkarenosburn.com, DRKAREN, OSBURN. You're going to see a big picture of me. Enter in your email, and we'll get you hooked up. And I have some cool gifts coming your way as soon as you do sign up for the Woman Wanting More newsletter. So I'll talk to you next episode. A life of more is just one step away from me doing the fucking work every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosburn.com/newsletter.